Hello fellow Sudokans and welcome to Zen and the Art of the Guardian Sudoku puzzle for Wednesday the 26th of January 2022. Guardian's level of Sudoku today is estimated at medium level. I say estimated, I've no idea just how wide of the mark that will be, but anyway, that's what they've rated it as. So we'll get onto that in just a moment. Before I mention item of news that I just read this morning, because it involves both YouTube and Thailand and some scientific advance. So there you go. What more could you want? Apparently, there is a YouTuber who I'd never heard of until half an hour ago, named Jojo Sipawat, and he has 2.5 million followers, as opposed to my 2.5 followers on YouTube. But he goes out and looks at wildlife. The videos look very interesting. They're in Tyler. But he has discovered a new species, indeed a new genus of tarantula that lives in bamboo. It gets into the bamboo. It doesn't make holes in the bamboo itself. Rodents do that, but it lives inside bamboo. Never been seen before, entirely new. The photos were emailed to the spider was discovered in Dak province, which is pretty remote actually, and he took photos and video, I guess, and emailed them to a spider specialist, arachnologist, I think it was called. I've forgotten the term, but anyway, a specialist in spiders at Konkan University, who has declared them to be new, and they went to investigate actually, and they have declared it new to science. So there you go. That's good, isn't it? Except please keep your tarantulas away from me. They do not appeal to my sense of pet loving instincts. I don't think I really want to keep one as a pet. Okay, let's get on with the game of Sudoku for Wednesday. How do we play this game? Well, we have rows across which contain 9 squares, columns down which contain 9 squares, and these boxes which are outlined in black which contain 9 squares, and all we do is fit unique items inside each box. When I say unique item, we have 9 unique items, and in this case we are using digits, numbers, numerals. Why? Because it's the easiest thing to use, that's why. You can use other things if you like. There's a video on my channel with items of food, but it was quite tough to do, apart from the fact it was really hot because I couldn't have the air conditioning on. It was really difficult to imagine, whereas numbers are very easy to spot. How do we go about finding these numbers then? Well, what we say is, let's have a look at this 2 here and realize that 2 cannot reappear in this row because it's already in this row. A number can only appear one time. Okay, so these 3 squares are eliminated for our search for a 2 in this block. We still don't have a 2 here yet. This 2 does the same thing in this row. No other square can be 2. So we have eliminated the top 3 squares, and we've eliminated these 2 squares, and now this 2 from down below blocks all the way up this column, blocking this square. So if these squares are blocked by this 2, these squares are blocked by this 2, and this square is blocked by this 2, I think we can see that the 2 must fit there because it's the only place that doesn't interact with any other surrounding 2's. Let's do that again. 2 blocks down here, 2 blocks down here. So these 5 squares are immediately eliminated because of these two 2's. And there's 2 blocks across here, so there's only 1 square left. The 2 must fit there. The 2 that we wrote in before, blocks down here, this 2 blocks up here, so now this square becomes a 2, and so you can see how we use the numbers that we write in as well. Of course, that makes it that's how we get to the end. 2 blocks across here, 2 blocks across here, 2 down from here, 2 up from there, and this is the final digit 2. So we have now completed 2 in every every one of these blocks, these outlined areas. Okay, so that's how we play the game. Now you understand the rules. Let's get on and look for other things, shall we? This 1 blocks across this row here, so we can say that a 1 appears in that square there. Okay, so there are 3 empty squares here, right, like this. We can find out what they are by looking at the other numbers, of course. And if we look at the other numbers and find out what's missing, we find what's missing is 1, 4, and 8. So we know that these 3 squares contain 1, 4, and 8 because that's what we need to complete the row. Okay. Now, down here we have a 4 and an 8 in the same column, and they both affect this square here because this 4 stops this square from becoming a 4, and this 8 never allows this square to become an 8. So if we have the missing numbers of 1, 4, and 8, then it can't be 4, can't be 8, it has to be 1. Okay. Really looked at this grid properly yet. Okay, so 7 blocks across here like this, 7 blocks across here like this, and 7 blocks up here. So 7 must fit in that square there. By the way, if you're new to the channel, you should know that I don't play these games at all ahead of switching on the camera. I have no idea how easy or difficult they are in fact going to be until I get to the end. Okay, now sometimes we have to think forward a little bit. So what are the missing numbers here? 4 and 5. I'm particularly interested in the 5. Okay, so 5 is in one of these 2 squares, meaning that 5 cannot be in this square, because if 5 is here, it blocks this row, and if 5 is here, it still blocks the same row. 5 is blocked here. This 5 knocks out these 2 squares, and this 5 knocks out this square down here, right? So, you know, blocking here, blocking here, blocking down here, we're left with 2 options. Now, we don't yet have a 5 in this block. 5 must fit somewhere into this column, right? Because that's all that's left. So wherever it fits in this column, it will stop this square from being a 5. And so we know that 5 must go there. Okay, this column here, the lacking digits, the digits we still are lacking, I should say, slightly more fluent English, are the 6 and 9. Now 6 blocks everything in this particular compartment here from becoming a 6, so no 6 is allowed here. So in particular, cannot appear here. So we know then that the 6 is there, and that will allow us to deduce that the final digit 9 must go there. Now 9 blocks up here, 9 blocks across here, so we can also place a 9 right there. Now, if you are new to the game, I should tell you the one thing you need to do is to decide about where to look. That's the tricky thing, I think. Okay, so I've discovered something else now. This 8 blocks across here like this, allowing us to decide that 8 must be in one of these 2 squares. We can't quite place it yet, but we know it's got to be either here or here because we have an 8 blocking across here. So whether it appears here or here, it blocks this square here. This 8 blocks this square here. and so 8 must arrive there. Now we only need one more number to complete this row. It's a 4. 1, 2, 3. We don't have a 4. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 4 goes there. And the last number that we need to complete this block is a 3. Now this column is lacking just one digit. Should we find out what it is? 1, 2, 3. There's no 4 anywhere. So that must be it. I hear another helicopter going over. Getting quite popular. Maybe we have a helicopter service nearby. What was I saying? Oh yeah, deciding where to look. That's what you need to think about. That's part of the difficulty, really. Is if you're looking in the wrong place, it will take you a long time. If you get lucky, or if intuition or some system forces you to look in the right place, you can save a lot of time. Not, of course, that we are necessarily trying to finish the game super quickly, but just in a satisfactory way. 7 blocks down this column, 7 blocks down this column, so 7 must appear in that square there. Sorry for the silence. I am looking around. I never fall asleep playing Sudoku, but I do sometimes go silent because sometimes it requires a bit of concentration. Well, I haven't found the right place to look, clearly. Oh, I've found it now. 9 blocks up this column, 9 blocks up this column, and 9 blocks across here. So that will be a 9 in that square there. Now, something nice. Let's look at this column here and say, does it have a 9? Answer, no. We've only got 7, 1, and 2. Lots of empty space here in this column. But let's examine how the 9s interact with this column. We have a 9 blocking this square here. We have another 9 blocking this square here. So goodbye, you two. We have a 9 blocking this square. Okay, you're out. So we're just down to these 3 left. We have a 9 blocking here and a 9 blocking here. So we have 9s in this square, this square, this square, this square, this square, or rather affecting those squares. And so we can say for sure a 9 must appear there. Okay. Got to keep looking. Alright, I need to be a bit more methodical about where I'm looking now, I think, because I like the random stuff that I generally do has kind of dried up a little. So let's examine and see what's needed now. So the missing numbers here are 1, 7, 8. We've got a blocking 7 here, we've got a blocking 8 here. The 1 we don't know anything about. Missing numbers down here are 3, 5, and 6. We've got a blocking 3. The 5 and the 6 we don't know anything about. Okay. How about this row at the bottom here? We've got 1, 2, 3. We don't yet have 4. We don't have 5, 6, and 8. 4, 5, 6, and 8. Is that going to give us anything? Yes. Okay. Right, the missing numbers in these 4 squares are 4, 5, 6, and 8. Those are the numbers we need to complete this row. Now, if you look at this column here, you can see 4, 6, and 8, all in the same column. So this square cannot be 4, cannot be 8, cannot be 6. Therefore, it must be 5, because that's the other number we needed to complete this column, right? Now, what was missing in this column again? Can you remember? It was 3, 5, 6, I do believe. 3, 5, and 6 must fit into this, these 3 squares here, because that's what we don't have. 1, 2, no 3, no 5, no 6. Now we've got 3 blocking here, 5 blocking here, so we know in fact that that must be a 6 now. Okay, still a bit more work to do. Let's move on my chair a little bit, get more comfy while I dig in to my mental resources. Right, where are we? Okay, I'll be with you in a second. Don't go anywhere. Oh no. Thought I'd seen something and then it didn't turn out to be true. And that's what happens sometimes when you're looking for these digits. You see something and you think, oh great, I've got you. But no, in fact, it was not true. Let's see. Now I can't highlight this like I can on the computer. When you're doing this kind of game on a computer, of course, it's rather easier in many ways. 1 block's up here, so we've got 1 limited to those squares and 1 is limited to these squares. 1 is somewhere there and here. So that's not really resolvable. 2's are complete. 3's are like this, like that. Here and here, plenty of places up there. There's nothing we can do there. 4's then here and here, here and here, there and there, there and there, right the way up there. Nothing we can do about that. 5's are here, useful there. 6 is up here. Nope, 7s. They are there. Hold on. Okay, this column here, missing numbers appear to be 1, 3, and 7. We don't have 1, we don't have 3, we don't have 7. We've got a 1 and 7 in this row. So now we know that must be a 3 then. Okay, so then this can't be 3. So 3 fits here, and 5 is the last number that we need for this block. Okay. Right, that's a bit better. Still not finished though. No, I'm not sure how that really does much. Oh, I'm gonna have to move on my chair again. Wow, lots of chair movement today. This is labeled as a medium level game, and maybe it is a medium level game. Usually they're pretty easy, and I just want to get there in a reasonable fashion, you know, if you know what I mean. The solution itself. Can't decide on what I just did, how that really affects things. What do we know? 1 is in these squares, 4 is in these squares, 6 is in these 3 squares, 7 is up here, 8 is here like this. So it's a kind of mishmash of everything, isn't it, really? Oh, where should I be looking now? All right, okay, so I can't see an easy way forward, and I don't want this game to last too long. So what I will do now is put in pencil marks or candidates that will allow us to finish the game in a very easy way, hopefully, because you'll see the patterns. Now, I've gone as far as I can go without filling in pencil marks, and I think that's generally a good thing to do. And then we get to a certain point, and then, okay, you need pencil marks. That's how I approach this game anyway. All right, so let's fill in what we can. So 1 block's up here. So we know that 1 is available in those squares. 1 blocks across here and down here, so 1 is available in those squares. 1 blocks up here and up here, we know 1 is available in those squares. Now 1 is somewhere in here, but it's not a pair, so I put paired candidates within a block in the top left and everything else in the bottom right. That's my own way of notating. 2 is complete already. 3 blocks across here, so we have 3 available in those squares. 3 blocks up here, and across here, so we have a pair of 3s available as candidates. That means possibility or possible digits to be placed there. Okay, what else? 4s are in these squares here, because of this 4 blocking across here, right? 4 blocks across here, so we also have 4 possible there, and 4 we need to complete this row, 3 and 4, right? Now 4 blocks across here and across here, so again we have 3 possibilities, so I'll put them in the bottom right because they're in a row, straight line I mean. Right, 5s then, 5 blocks across here, so a pair of 5s there. A pair of 5s we needed to complete this row or this block, whichever way you look at it. 5, there it is. Now I've seen it, okay. See, but when you fill in the pencil marks like this, it's to your assistance, right? I mean, you know, there are people who will try to play the game without pencil marks to make it more difficult for themselves, and good luck to them. So 5 blocks up here, 5 blocks across here, so 5's in one of these 2 squares, right? Meaning this cannot be 5, that must be 5, and that must be 4. So now we know that 4 is in this square. We can remove candidate 4 that we put in previously. Okay. Right, so let's put in the 5 blocking here then. So now we have a pair of 5s like so. Actually hasn't really affected everything else, has it? Right, so anything else that we know? Yes, 5 blocks across here, 5 blocks up here, so a pair of 5s in those squares. 6 now then, 6 now blocks across here, 6 blocks down here, so now we know what we did before. 6 is a pair here, that blocks across here, 6 blocks across here. We can now place a 6 here, and we're overwriting a 4, so the 4 goes here. That must be a 4 because this blocks this one now, and that must now be a 3. Okay, so now we can place a pair of 3 candidates in this square and this square. 3 blocking up here, 3 blocking up here, and 3 blocking across. Puts 3s into those squares there. Okay, now we only have one number missing from here. It's an 8, isn't it? We'll get to that in a minute. We were doing 6s, weren't we? Is there anything else to be done with 6s? Okay, so now then, 6 is one of our numbers missing from here, so 6 blocks up here. So now we can say a 6 fits here, and a 9 is the last digit we need for that row. Okay. Okay, so 9 blocks up here, 9 blocks up here, 9 blocks this square, 9 blocks across this row, so 9 must fit there. By the way, I had a 4 here already now, and a 4 here already now, so I've got to remove that candidate there and that candidate there, and that of course will leave just a single 4 now, so we can put in our candidate 4. Now in the top left there's a 1, and that means we know it's part of a pair. This is why I do it in the top left, so I know that this must be a 1, and there's a 5 in the top left, so I now know that 5 goes there, and there's a 5 over here that can be removed, and it's in the top left, so I know that the 5 appears there, and I can remove that candidate 5. This 1 can be eliminated because we've got a 1 here, and in fact now there is only one digit we need to complete this row, and that digit is an 8, so we'll put it in like that. What else do we need to do? These ones are now a pair. 7 is the next number I think we have to look at. 7s can go there like that. 7s block across here and down here, so 7 is a pair like so. We have just one digit missing in this row now. It's an 8, so we can put in the 8 there. And yeah, we're left with 1, 6 and 7 there. That's okay. For this block here, the missing number is an 8. We don't yet have an 8, but we can see very close by there's an intersecting 8, so 8 goes here and 5 is in that square there. This column lacks just one number. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We don't have a 6 anywhere, so we know that that must be a 6 to complete that column. And then 6 blocks across this row, 6 blocks here. So that's a 6, and we notice in the top left we have a 3. So that becomes a 3 there. This 3 then is eliminated, and 3 will be there. Now for this block we just need an 8 to complete. So 8 goes there. Almost done now, aren't we? Down here, one number missing. We've got a 6 up here, so that's a 7. We've got the 7 now, so that must be 1, and this must be 6. We've got a 1 here, meaning that can't be 1, so 1 goes there. 7 now will complete this block, okay, meaning that can't be 7. So 7 is in there, and 1 is there, and I think you'll agree that was a nice puzzle for medium level Guardian. Some people will say I made a lot hard work of it. It was actually much easier than it needed to be because I missed this along the top here, but that's okay. I'm a firm believer in pencil marks, actually. I know a lot of people on the channel are against them, but I'm not, but I'm very happy that they are here and passing on their wisdom to you as well. Thank you very much. See you again when you're in the mood for Sudoku. Bye bye.